Happy Chinese New Year guys! 286 horsepower and 550 Newton meters of torque. So let me bring you guys on a quick walk around tour of this car. It's my first German car of the year. Oh, it's really hot. Let's start the engine. It's silent. Pretty tensioner. Rolling off from Mercedes in this new E350e. No, I'm not the first one featuring this car, but I'm really excited that I'm able to feature this finally. Wow, this is gonna take quite some time to get used to. It feels like there's a lot of functions in this car. Oh, what do you expect, right? It's an E-Class, the new E-Class. So yeah, this is the first German car that I'm featuring this year. Thank you very much to Mercedes-Benz Malaysia. I'll make sure that I make full use of this car throughout the weekend. I really must say the interior of this car is really top-notch. I have driven the E250 exclusive line before, but I'm sure you guys could have guessed as well, this car is actually a big leap from that variant. This is actually a plug-in hybrid if you didn't know, and the power is really extraordinary. So throughout this weekend, I'll be filming the cinematic shots of the car to bring out its true beauty. I'm going to be filming the driving experience POV style as well as usual, and I'll definitely show you guys around the car in a walk-around tour. Why I did not open this panoramic sunroof for better lighting. Oh, and before I forget, Happy Chinese New Year guys. By the time this video comes out, right, it should be around that period. So let's move on. I actually charged the car to 100% last night, and this morning I took a quick drive to Bukit Jalil and back. The whole round trip is 53 minutes, but right now I'm only left with 2 km all-electric range. I'm not saying that the hybrid battery depletes really fast. It really depends on your driving style. Just so happened that my driving style is like this. So I'm going to show you guys how to charge the car. You should have one of these charger if you get this car. If you don't have it, contact Mercedes-Benz. So this is the 3-pin plug charger. So as you can see, I plug it into the socket. Just remove this cover. Right here, just press on it and pull this tab and just slot it in. It will lock itself. That was the unlock sign just now. That means it's not locked. All you need to do is just turn on power. Says charging. It will flash here as well. This green symbol is flashing actually. I don't know whether you can see it. To charge from 0, I think it's around 2 to 3 hours. That's what I heard. So it is just that simple. And you don't only just get this charging cable, you also get one that you can use outside. A fast charging cable that looks like this. Made in Germany. Oh, and in case if you guys are wondering if anyone can pull out this thing while charging, you can't do that if you lock the car. As you can see, I'm charging it. Just make sure that you lock the car. You can't pull it out, so it's locked in place. So I hope you guys enjoyed the cinematic shot just now. If you skipped the last part, maybe you want to rewind a bit because that's where I show you how to charge the car and also how to check your charging status. And this segment is the driving experience segment where I talk to you guys how the car drives. I'll try to make it as simple as possible. And after that, it's gonna be the walk around tour where I show you guys around the car briefly. If you guys are new to my channel, how I make these videos is that I will show you guys notable things about the car. So I'm going to talk about features that makes it different or stands out and how do they feel when you drive this car. So let's get into the driving experience of this car. As you heard just now, when I start the car, it's actually really quiet.
Listen to the sound.
If you still didn't know, this is a plug-in hybrid. First of all, if you're new to Merc and if you're looking to get this car, the gear shifter is here. As usual for Mercedes, it is not in the center console. And before you guys ask me what if you are in drive and while driving you actually accidentally push it to neutral, you would actually need to come to a complete stop, then only you can re-engage drive. And please don't ask me how I know. Basically, foot on the brake, pull down, and you're engaged. First impressions, seamless pickup from standstill. Right, first of all, the powerhouse of this car. It is a 2-litre engine paired with a hybrid system that forks out 286 horsepower and 550 Newton meters of torque. The electric engine, if you want to drive in all electric mode, it can, on paper, it can last for 33 kilometers, but as you can see just now in the short clip, if you didn't skip that, the system actually showed that I could only go 26 kilometers in an all-electric drive. So with 286 horsepower and 550 Newton meters torque, you can expect that overtaking or pickup is definitely effortless, as you would see right now. Sport mode, some accelerations. And what about power delivery? Well, I'm going to touch on that in a few minutes. And the transmission that you get in this car is actually a 9-speed G-tronic automatic transmission. Since it's a Mercedes-Benz, you can really expect it to be smooth, really smooth actually. But there's one thing that I would also mention depending on the mode that you're in later in a few minutes. And coming to the driving position, you can actually adjust the seat in a lot of ways. I could easily find my preferred driving position, that's no fault in that. I'm going to show you guys more about it in the walk around tour. And coming to the steering, it is actually wrapped in a very premium leather, indentations at 9 and 3, my favorite. At the sides, as you can, I'm not sure if you can see it right now, it is actually perforated leather. It just feels very good. It's soft, by the way, it's really nice to hold. And the controls that you see right here, these are actually touch sensitive controls. The set on the left is actually for you to control this screen, and the right one is actually for you to control the one in front of you. Can you see it? And this side, yeah, just roughly. I'm going to show you more in the walk around tour. And at the back of the steering, you actually get aluminium pedal shifters, which feels really premium. So coming on to the suspension is actually air body control air suspension on all 4 sides. And the air suspension is really smooth. You just waft along the road like a smooth pillow. Like, before any one of you ask me how does it feel over a pothole, I don't care any suspension that you have. If you go through a pothole, definitely it's gonna jolt. Like these roads right now, these aren't perfect roads that I'm on, but they do feel really smooth. And in case any of you who are new to air suspensions, you should take note that air suspension may not be the best choice for roads with a lot of potholes, because it is known that if you go through potholes all the time, they won't last very long. But it really depends on how you drive it as well. If you purposely go through a pothole at high speeds, no matter what suspension you are on, you definitely destroy it. Since it's an air suspension, the air suspension can be configured as well depending on your driving mode. And there's actually a button right here which you can press to raise the height of the car by 25mm. But if you go up above 80 km per hour, the car will actually lower itself back to the normal level. Normal level is usually activated in comfort mode. And if you were to go above 120 km per hour, the car will actually lower itself by 15mm from the normal level to reduce aerodynamic drag as well as improve stability of the car. And talking about modes, there are actually a few category of things that you can configure in this car, namely the dynamic select, the driving mode, and also the hybrid modes. So let me get on with the first category that you can configure. Dynamic select is where you can individually configure the power delivery of the engine, the suspension stiffness, the steering weight, and also Eco Assist. So for example, the power delivery of the engine, you can actually set it to either Eco, Comfort, Sport or Sport Plus. And it is the same for the suspension and the steering, which you can adjust according to your preference. But I want to mention a bit about the Eco Assist. Eco Assist is actually a feature which you can turn on or off. If you are in Eco mode, if you turn this on, if the car detects that you are accelerating too hard, the pedal will actually give you a slight kickback on your right foot. When I first felt it, right, I didn't know what was it about. I thought there was something wrong with the accelerator pedal, which gave me a shock. But it just kept coming on, and whenever I step on it in Eco mode, it just kicked back and kicked back and kicked back. So I finally found out it's actually the Eco Assist on. So driving modes, there are actually 5 driving modes for you to choose from, namely Individual, Sport Plus, Sport, Comfort and Eco, which is displayed right here. Throughout these few days, I found myself driving in Comfort all the time. And the third category, Hybrid mode. There are actually 4 hybrid modes that you can choose from, either Hybrid E mode, E-Safe or Charge, which I wouldn't explain it in the video, but read the description for more explanation on that. But I want to let you guys hear the engine kicked in when I change it to charge mode. So I just changed it into charge mode. Compared to just now, can you hear the engine? Yeah, that's the engine. But I have to give it to them that the alteration between E mode and also the petrol engine, it is very seamless. You won't really notice it at most times. Unless you're at a standstill and you turn off the aircon, you put it into charge, you can actually feel that the engine coming to life. Overall, this car is actually refined, but refined is actually an understatement for this car. I'm actually starting to understand this car more and more. It's my first time driving the E350e, but overall, I'm starting to recognize the car itself as one of the top choices for comfortable executive sedans. This car definitely boasts luxury, and the road presence is definitely there. I do realize that it has been turning a lot of heads. Right until now, if you actually realize, I'm actually circling around this area. This area actually has one of the worst roads that I know, so that you guys can hear whether any rattling sounds or whatever, although I know there isn't. Of course, there are some personal opinions of the car as well after living with it for a few days. The 9-speed G-tronic transmission can be jerky at times, but I only ever experienced it in Eco mode. How it happened is that there were a few times I was driving in Eco mode and I wanted to overtake some cars. I accelerated a bit more and the car lunged forward, but like I mentioned, it only happened in Eco mode. I didn't experience that in Comfort or Sport mode. Oh, and another thing that I want to say, this 12.3-inch display is really clear, and I was super impressed by the reverse camera definition, which I'm going to overlay some footages which you can see right now. Isn't it super clear? And you get to choose a few different viewing angles depending on your situation. But really, I'm really impressed by the resolution of it. Is there anything that annoys me when I drive this car? This thing. So since I'm stopped at the roadside, I can show you guys. This thing is actually blocking your view to the button that raises the air suspension, 360 camera, and also the button to change your hybrid modes. And I never use it at all, so to me it's rather useless to place it right here. I don't know about you guys, maybe you guys use it, but I don't. And one more thing, I'm sure you guys want to know what's the fuel consumption like in this car. On paper, it says that it's 2.1 liters per 100 kilometer, but after driving it for 3 days, my personal fuel consumption is nowhere near that lah. I'm actually getting 11 liters per 100 kilometer. Like, my god, it's such a big difference from the spec sheet numbers. Some of you might even say, if you can afford a car like this, why would you even bother about the fuel consumption? I would want to correct you on that. This is not really based on the driver themselves or the owner themselves, but if the manufacturer can claim that this car can actually get that sort of fuel consumption, you would expect the car to get around that as well. But in Mercedes-Benz defense, I wasn't really light-footed these few days, so maybe that's why I'm getting 11 liters per 100 kilometer. So to recap a few things, power in this car is definitely not an issue. You can really fly if you want. Okay, maybe not fly lah, but you can go really fast. There's no lag except for when you're in eco mode, which I said just now, but that's if you are in eco mode lah. Other modes, it's fine. Totally seamless and effortless. Transmission is awesome. Steering sharpness is also very decent. It's set up more towards the comfort side lah. It's not really sporty type, but if you want a sporty one, you just get the E63 lah. But for what I know, it is set up in a way that I really like it. The weight is nice, it is decently sharp. So that is all for the driving experience segment. If you didn't get your question answered, make sure to ask in the comment section down below and I'll reply you there. Let's move on to a walk around tour where I'll briefly show you guys around the car.